This is Will's Band of the Week for October 23rd, 2016. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Will's Band of the Week. This is Will, along with Grant, live from Fourth Bedroom Studios.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
We're live. We're not really live, though. This is recorded when people listen to it. It's not live at all. But to us, right now, it is live.
The recording comes alive through the magic of microphones and digital audio workstations.
Right. So it's time for another Grant's Underground, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I find that about once a month, it becomes necessary to have another Grant's Underground, where you bring music to the world.
Yeah, I'm continuing my arduous research process every month to put this together. It's pretty painstaking. Yep,
it is, but well worth it, obviously.
Of course.
So, got any music news? Is there any... last week we expanded it to Donald Trump news. But we don't want to talk about Donald Trump news.
I don't think so.
That's terrible. We talked about enough of that already.
Yeah, lots of other people are doing that for us right now.
Exactly, yeah. We're done with that crap. Forget it. Let's see. Oh, I have a little tiny music news thing. You know how you and I have talked about this, about the extent to which we listen to singles that come out before the album comes out, right?
Yeah.
And I think you said you actually listen to them sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, I try not to overdo it. I've made the mistake of listening to a single too much, so it stands out in the album in a weird way because I'm too used to it and not used to the other songs. But I do listen to singles still, just not excessively.
So what I usually do is I listen just because I'm curious. I'll listen to 30 seconds of it, and then I'll say to myself, nope, gotta wait for the album. I've got to wait for the album. This gave me it'll give me a little flavor for it, but I'm gonna wait for the album. But there was a little bit of an exception to that this week because the new single by the Flaming Lips was released.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I'm kind of curious what they're doing. And I listened to it. You know what? I really like it. It's a really good song. So I'm like, And I listened to it 3 times, and I'm like, okay, cut myself off now. We got to wait till the album, which is going to be in January. It's going to be released. But what's good about it is that it's more of kind of the, what do I want to say? Kind of the sweet Flaming Lips rather than the completely, just nutty, out of control.
Warbly, experimental.
Sound-wise, it has a lot of their same signature, distorted, overdriven, crazy stuff. But the song is really good. So I'm hoping that that's an indication that that the album sounds like that. Because if they make a whole album like that, it'll be like their good old days, like the Soft Bulletin and Yoshimi, which would be really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I didn't know they had a new album coming out, so
yeah,
good to know.
They just announced it. We're on the cutting edge here, so
Yes.
I think the average, if an important musical news item comes to light, I usually know within about 45 seconds or so.
Yeah,
it's about the average time, I think.
That's good.
Yeah, so we want to get out to the listeners as soon as possible. So I understand you've got kind of a sad music news item.
I do, a little bit. Well, yeah, it's objectively sad. The guy named Fergus, who is in a band from Melbourne, Australia, called Bored Nothing, recently took his own life. And, I don't know, he left behind a lot of music. And most recently, a 2-piece band with, I think, what was his wife. I think they were married. And they have a really good single on SoundCloud from 5 months ago. So I thought it would be worth playing that to remember his work.
And you played this for me, and I think it's really good. So when the music's good, it makes it even sadder.
Yeah.
So we found this on SoundCloud, and it's called Pansy. Is that the collaboration with his wife?
Yes.
All right. And
Yeah.
what's the song that we're going to play?
Song is called It's All Over Now.
R.I.P. Fergus, as someone commented on the SoundCloud page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Very sad, but very good music.
Yeah. Check out Bored Nothing self-titled album if you're into that. It's a good LP.
All right. There's got to be something happier now. Like maybe talking about some new music, right?
Yes. Good idea.
So, well, you've got, let's see, I think you've got 4 selections.
That's correct.
And so it's going to be an important editorial decision what order in which to present these.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts?
I've only listened to one of them. Well, you've played a couple of tracks from the other ones for me, actually.
Yeah.
But there's one that I've listened to like a few times.
Yeah.
So we just go ahead and start with that one?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Is that Warehouse?
That's Warehouse, yep.
Warehouse is a band from Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're big into the history of Georgia indie rock, you might be able to point out that they sound a little bit like the band Pylon, which is also a good band.
I was telling you mentioned Pylon, and I was telling you that I remember Pylon because like REM used to say how great Pylon was, and other bands said how great Pylon was, but I never really listened to them. And then you played a couple things for me, and I thought, this is good.
Yeah,
and I've never listened to it, so that's something to dig back. I don't know if Barrett's listened to Pylon. Barrett, if you're listening, tell us whether you've listened to Pylon and what you think of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you want to play a song?
Yeah, Warehouse. The album is called Super Low. Yeah, let's start with the track. I'm going to let you make the selections. I have a couple that I like, but I think that you've listened to it more, so I'm going to let you make the picks.
All right. Let's start with Exit Only.
Warehouse.
Yeah.
What are we going to say about it?
I don't know. I like letting the music speak for itself, but I don't know. Let's play another track. Maybe we'll have something to say then.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Track 7, Reservoir.
I will show you fear in a handful of dust pieces. At least then, you remember the truth. But I'll be here when the loss confounds you to gesture a way out. Picking up the pieces of your life. Don't ever fall behind. Just 'cause it's easier. Don't ever lose your place or throw it all away. Yeah. And blinding white light so harsh. And feeling as though you're faint when you tell me if something comes from nothing, doesn't make it nothing. Yeah. And when all your smoking veils fail, I am with you and never leaving. I can tell we're heading towards the apex or the end. And either way, it will be fine. But I know you've been fearful of tomorrow. For all you know, tomorrow it will be too late. Dead souls ascending in our white sepulchral city. Church on a hill, they fall from grace, the collective memory of our written dream. And falling faster, the current swells me to complete disaster and a broken needing and plumbing for something and
Okay, I'm prepared to make 2 comments now.
Uh-huh.
First of all, it's non-obvious, right? You have to kind of let the stuff sink in. Like the
Yeah.
melodies aren't like just right out in front, and the patterns of the songs are not always just the standard like verse chorus. It's not like totally predictable.
Yeah.
So it's an album that you can, I think, appreciate more when you listen to it a little bit more.
Definitely.
Okay, that's observation number 1. Number 2, the singer is interesting because her voice can be like super gravelly, but then throughout the album she has like different levels of gravelly, right?
Uh-huh.
Where there's some of the songs where she sings like with not much of the gravelly style at all. And then even within a song, she'll kind of change styles around. So
Yeah.
kind of keeps things interesting.
Yeah, that's I don't know. From a very literal, I don't know. Literal's the wrong word to talk about music, really. But it uses kind of like indie rock language that I'm pretty familiar with, which relies on like guitar interplay and kind of like a little bit weirder song structure, and the vocals are really expressive, and those are all things that I'm just drawn to in all music, and I kind of try to incorporate in my own, so I'm predisposed to liking it when it's executed this well. Yeah, very good album.
Cool.
Been listening to it a lot. Do you want to play the title track?
Yes.
It's called Super Low.
If memory serves me right, you're stuck in a place in time. You're reeling me in and wringing me out. If memory serves me right, you're stuck in a place in time. You're reeling me in
That's Warehouse.
Yeah.
That was the title track to Super Low. Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
The bassist also has a side project called Stevie Dinner. That's
That's a good name.
it's kind of like I don't know, older. It's definitely influenced by pop from like the maybe 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's really good. So check that out if you're into that sort of thing.
Cool. I think I might. You'll have to remind me after the podcast. Stevie Dinner, though. I can remember that.
Yeah,
It's
it's a good name.
Very good name. Yep. All right. Very good. Warehouse.
Do you want to do another W band?
Sure. That's right. You love a bunch of bands that start with a W. for
Yeah,
some
that's
reason.
kind of one of the patterns in my listening.
Yeah.
Big fan of W bands.
Yeah. Maybe you have a bias now. Like if it starts
Yeah.
with a W, you give it
Oh.
more attention.
Yeah, if you want to be featured on this podcast, at least on the underground part,
Yeah.
I suggest you name your band something that starts with a W. That gives you an instant leg up against your competitors.
Yeah. The name of our podcast starts with a W, so that's
Yeah,
a good thing going for it. Yeah. All right. Here's the other thing with a W. Tell us about it.
What Moon Things? I think I've talked about them on here before.
I don't think they had a 16-track album out, though. the
No,
last
they
time we
had
talked about
a self-titled that was like 8 or 9 songs, something like that. But now they have a 16-track album that is called Swim. And biggest change from the last album is they've incorporated a lot more electronic elements, electronic drums, other stuff, samples, I'm sure. But it's pretty cool. So
The limited stuff you played for me from this made me want to listen to it, and I never got around to it until 15 minutes ago when you gave me the thumb drive with the album on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to listen to it later. So that means you get to make all the picks.
I'm prepared to do that.
All right.
Let's start with track 2, which is called 17.
And you once slapped me, fist with the chain link, pour yourself another drink, such a poet's wild dream. Like you wanna be 17, like you wanna be 17, like you wanna be 17.
That's What Moon Things. I just did some music journalism, as you saw. You know, you get the inside scoop of how I do the music journalism. That must be pretty exciting to see.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's thrilling.
Yeah. It's like being backstage for some spectacular band or something.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I did this thing. I did searches on the internet, and I figured out they're from New Paltz, New York, which I'd never heard of. But there's apparently a state university school there. It's about 100 miles north of New York City.
So they're not moving to Brooklyn for indie rock stardom.
No, apparently not.
Staying several miles north of that. Good
Yep.
for them.
Yeah, They're trying to resist. There's a pull. They feel the pull like a magnet drawing them to Brooklyn. They're trying to resist it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Should we play another track?
Sure. Let's play Carpet Farm.
Okay, as an aging rocker, I'm going to say that it reminds me a little bit of The Cure
Yeah, I can hear that.
from the 80s.
Definitely.
Yep, that one had a little more of a rock band sound, whereas the first track you picked was more electronic.
Yeah.
Right?
Jangly electronic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so 16-track album, so the pressure's on. You've got to give us another track that gives us a good representation of the album.
Sure. I'm gonna go with the one single from this that's on Spotify, I think. It's called Party Down the Street.
Got so
Yeah, it's a good one too.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid album.
What Moon Things? Yeah, check it out, people.
Absolutely.
I'm going to. Yeah, it's on a playlist right here. See, that means I'm gonna,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna listen to it. That means
The checking out
these are
playlist.
the things that I've assigned to myself to listen to.
Yeah.
Yep. Some of them stay on there for quite a long time before I finally realize, sometimes it'll be something I've had on the list for like a month and a half and I've never listened to it, and I just say, let's be realistic, you're not going to listen to this, and I delete it.
Yeah.
So there's a couple on there right now that are on the verge of getting deleted. I feel bad for the bands when I delete them, though.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I don't. What's the one recently that I deleted? I didn't really feel that bad for Bon Iver. I mean,
No, you shouldn't feel bad.
he's got plenty of
They,
listeners.
they don't need your help
Yeah.
to be successful.
Exactly. Yeah. If it was
He definitely doesn't.
if it was more of a struggling indie rock artist and I deleted them, I'd feel a little bit worse.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's good. Got 2 good ones so far. But you've got more because
Yes, I do.
You always have more than
Mhm.
2. Yeah. So let's see. Are we going over here?
Yeah. I think we're
this
going
one?
over there. Going
All
over to
right.
Montreal.
Okay. Seems like it's part of the Grants Underground resource bag of resources, right? That
Uh-huh.
We do go to Montreal, fairly often, right?
Yeah.
You tap into the Montreal scene.
Yeah, I try my best.
Yeah. So what do we got this week from Montreal?
We have a side, I don't know if you'd call it a side project, because the band Telstar Drugs from Calgary, all the members moved to Montreal.
For Canadian indie rock stardom.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And they've kind of split off and done their own projects a lot. So this is the guitarist Raph, his project called Clear Spot. And it's a little more psychedelic, more electronic stuff and pitch shifting than with Telstar Drugs, but it's really interesting and produced very well. So thought it would be worth featuring on this here podcast.
All right.
So
Here we are.
the album is called Brain Melange Bench Press. And let's play the track Cocoa Banana.
Feeling older than I am. Fading, my clock reassures. Don't hold back, misgivings will quaver. Please help me. I need your favor. Judgment comes to the silent. Violence finds me when I'm shy. My spirit so clearly won't stop you, preparing for
That's Clear Spot.
It's better than Animal Collective. That's my
This is the
editorial opinion.
That's right. You were saying to me, this is like a better version of Animal Collective.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's kind of what I want out of the idea of that band, executed better.
On the Bandcamp page, they always list the tags, and I always think that's fun. On this one, it says Experimental Salad Montreal.
Yeah, that's good. salad tag.
Right.
I think they
Right.
use that for Telstar drugs also. Good stuff.
All right. Let's play another track from Clear Spot.
Track 1, Wax Head.
That was nearly the whole track.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
So-
close.
Maybe we won't get sued.
Yeah. It's unlikely, but a possibility, as
Right.
always.
Yep. Yeah. It's probably a minority opinion. Do you think if we say something's better than Animal Collective, like a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know about this podcast, but they're kind of big, right?
They're pretty
People
big.
really
I mean,
get into them.
Pitchfork loves them, so people
Yeah.
that read Pitchfork love them.
Yeah.
A lot of them, at least.
They had one album that I kind of got into. Like I actually actively listened. I remember listening to it
Yeah.
in headphones and thinking this is pretty good, but it kind of didn't last. Like I listened to it maybe twice and kind of liked it, and then I just kind of lost interest. So I've never been able to like really get into them that much. So
Yeah.
good
me
that
neither.
you're giving us another alternative here.
Mhm.
Clear Spot.
Yeah. That's what I'm aiming for, pretty much.
All right, let's play one more track.
All right. Let's play Lit and Bright.
Okay, there you go. An improvement on Animal Collective. Compliments of Grant.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's Clear Spot, and the album is called Brain Melange Bench Press. So one thing you know, if you type that all into Google, you're going to get this and not something else, right?
Yeah.
It's like that combination
Definitely.
of words is probably not like
Pretty
common.
distinct line of, yeah.
And you can get this on Bandcamp by buying it and naming your own price.
Yes,
Your
which
own-
means free.
Your own price
if
could
you
be zero.
choose that. Uh-huh.
If your own price is $0, that's kind of like our podcast, right?
Yeah.
We should have people name their own price for the podcast because some people would probably name a really high number for it, right?
Yeah. 10,000 pesos or something.
Something like that. How many lira would that be?
I don't know.
I don't know how much a pesos is either.
A lot of yen.
A lot of yen, yeah. It's like probably you need like 10,000 yen to be like 1 United States penny, right?
I don't know. Something like that. The scale's pretty insane.
For those of you who don't use American money, we have this thing called a penny, and it's just ridiculous. It's literally worth
useless.
nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's a waste of copper, basically.
it's a complete waste, and so we advocate getting rid of the penny. And then the next unit up, which is the nickel, which is 5 cents, is kind of inefficient too, right? It's like it's a bigger coin,
Yeah.
and it's not worth very much.
It's really not
hardly
very
worth it.
practical. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they could start with the dime, which is the 10-cent piece, and just go from there up and just forget about the rest.
I would advocate for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty controversial here. We've got some crazy ideas.
Mhm.
Could throw the United States economy into complete
Disarray.
chaos. Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. All right. There's more.
There is more. Don't touch that dial or
No.
that skip button, whatever it is on your
Yeah.
podcast player you're using.
We don't give them the opportunity. The thing is, like, when podcasts have commercials, it's kind of just inviting the skip button, right?
Yeah, totally.
And they can't do it with ours because they could miss something great,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So you never want to hit that skip button at all.
definitely not.
Some podcasts even do this. I think is just really kind of bad. They'll play music to accompany the commercials. So like when the music comes on, they're going to start talking about some ad. So
Yeah.
you immediately skip it then.
It's like a trigger warning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of nice of them to do.
Yeah.
Warn you beforehand. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of people advertising to me with music in the background any more than
Right.
just someone advertising to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What do we got next?
Jake Tobin, who's a experimental musician, recording artist. He's put out 2 albums on 2 different labels this year, and one thing self-released last year. And I thought since he has a pretty diverse and crazy catalog that I would just do a sampler of one thing from each of those albums.
Yeah, and you gave me the links to these things, and they're all Bandcamp things, and they all look completely different. Like the artwork is completely different. You would never know it's the same artist.
The recording is pretty different too, but there's you can tell it's the same songwriter, I think. So let's start with an album called Accidentally on Purpose, which is on OSR Tapes. They also released the new Hellier Ulysses album. So the track is called Around.
Even though I know that I should sacrifice my temperament on these things that are passing now, no matter how much you love. There's something I like to exist, but somehow I just sit around and I wait for it to come around. I know that
That's Jake Tobin. So I wonder if he has a bunch of old Casio synthesizers or whether he does this all on like modern computer equipment.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure.
You can't really tell because you can get all those old sounds now like through software, I'm sure.
Right.
So, yeah, Jake Tobin.
Yeah. Erratic song structure. I like it. Let's do the second 2016 album, which is called Sorta Upset, on a different record label that I'm not completely sure how to pronounce. Maybe Haord.
Yeah, Haord from New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this song's called Checking the Mail Too Much.
That was most of that track.
All except for the last second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a minute 11.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, do you ever get the sensation that, I got this a little bit from this, where like a sound will hit and it's actually kind of funny? Like you get this humor response because
Yeah, totally.
Because it hit you unexpectedly.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
That's something I like about all of Jake Tobin's stuff. There's definitely a sense of humor in there.
Yeah, it's not some person like being like super serious or taking himself too seriously. He's just trying to be creative and interesting,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah, and those two were pretty different. The first two that you picked. So I'm interested to hear this next one.
Yeah, all right. This is one from 2015. The album is called Third and Fourth Thoughts, and the track is called Cyclin' with Jim.
Cycling with Jim.
Yep.
And apparently the cycle of choice is a motorcycle.
Sounds like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jake Tobin.
That's probably my favorite out of the 3 albums is the oldest one. But they're all very good and unique. So, you know what you heard. Check out more of that stuff if you like it. Yeah.
Cool. Very good. I like to say there's more, but I'm not sure if there's more. I don't think we have any more, do we?
Probably not, no.
But that means we'll leave the listeners wanting more.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do have some stuff lined up for next month.
Is this stuff that's already released, or is it upcoming things?
Upcoming.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
good because a lot of the more standard release schedules would say there's not much in November, right?
Yeah, they would be wrong.
Right. Some of the less commercial artists, I think, are willing to put things out in November and December.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, good. We'll need you for sure. Yeah, I've got a few things too that have potential. There's a band that I listened to in like 2005, and I didn't realize that they still existed. And it turns out they've got a bunch of albums, and they put something out in late 2015 that's really good. So there, if anybody can figure out that puzzle, you'll know what this band is that I might talk about on a future podcast. There, how's that for being kind of vague?
It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, got to keep people guessing. Yeah, we should learn how to end our podcast like a good TV show, right? Where there's like a super suspenseful moment.
Right, yeah. Somebody is
Right.
like, I'm breaking up with you. End scene.
Yep, right at the end. Yep. Yeah, no, we don't have anything that good. We're too, I don't know what we are. We're not skilled enough entertainers.
Right.
So, all right. That's all we've got. Another good one, though. More musical exploration for people. Get out there and support your Bandcamp artists,
Yeah, do it.
right? You don't have to listen to what Pitchfork tells you to listen to.
No.
Nope.
Please don't.
Listen to what Grant tells you to listen to, or
Yes, I am the
find stuff-
authority. Or
find
maybe
s-
you are, the listener.
everyone can be their own authority, right?
Yes.
We're totally for that. All right. Well, it's a beautiful fall day here in right outside of Fourth Bedroom Studios, and probably that's going to give way to a long gray winter, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or a long, terrible decade in the United States if the election goes badly. Maybe even if it goes well, right? Who knows?
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. Well, we'll find out. Time will tell.
Yes.
We'll probably still be here. And thing is, when politics has you down, when the real world has you down, throw on an episode of Will's Band of the Week,
Yes.
and then
All those troubles will melt away.
right, put your troubles behind you.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. Good enough.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Grant.
Of course.
Everyone go and listen to those bands because they're good. And I guess we should sign off. Probably Barrett and I will be back next week. I think that's what's going to happen, but you never know because we're kind of spontaneous. Yeah, okay. We'll talk to you again next week with another edition of Will's Band of the Week. Good night.
Good night.
You can subscribe to the Will's Band of the Week podcast using iTunes or any other podcast app. All of our podcasts are also available directly on our webpage, willsband.net. You can contact us directly by email to willsband@yahoo.com, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter @willsband. The Will's Band of the Week podcast is brought to you every week from Fourth Bedroom Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. Our theme music was composed by Grant and performed by Grant and Will. Thanks for listening.